Okay, can everyone see my screen? Yeah.
Perfect, yes.
Wonderful, thank you. So I am just so humbled and grateful to be in this space of like-minded people, soul sisters and brothers. And I love how the elements just keep coming up, the elements of nature, also yesterday. So I'm really excited to bring my work with the elements to this space. Again, my name is Daniela Sarnacchiaro. I am originally from California, but I've been living in Italy for the last 10 years. And in my 32 years on Earth, I've faced numerous encounters with death, not my own, but experiencing the loss of both my parents, different ages growing up, and my husband, and other relatives throughout my life. So these significant events sparked a profound quest since a young age for meaning and understanding about life and death. And in my personal journey, I discovered the immense beauty and preciousness of life, which reinforced my belief that each of us has a unique reason for being here. And especially with the death of my husband 5 years ago, I felt the need to radically shift my life direction and reframe my experiences as gifts of resilience and light, so I can share hope with others. And this is when I started searching for a holistic psychology master program. And many synchronicities led me to the Spirituality Mind Body Institute, where Bushti is, and also the tarot card reader yesterday, Emily, at Columbia University. And so I've just graduated from that program. And I'm also currently becoming a certified somatic coach as well. So I'm just really excited to share my purpose work and workshop with you today. It is based on my research for my master's thesis. And my dream is to share a simple, accessible, and powerful way for you to get in touch with your authentic self, aligned with your purpose when you're feeling stuck or lost or disoriented. And you just need to come back to yourself, to your body, mind, and listen to its wisdom. So what we'll be looking at today is I will talk about my research in purpose in life, some things that I kept noticing coming up, and then how to cultivate purpose in life using the model that I created with the 5 elements. We'll do some grounding and alignment, some writing, and then we will embody fire and integrate that with our creative expression. So I started to get interested in purpose in life, when apart from my experience with death and everything, but also I was noticing a lot of people my age, and myself included, who are considered early adults from mid-20s to mid-30s, are just kind of feeling confused and disoriented, not knowing what they really wanted to do in life. Not everyone, of course, but I did notice many people feeling this way. And the pressure from society that we have to already figure it out by maybe 25, we have to know what we're going to do with the rest of our lives. And that can really lead to negative impacts on mental and physical health and existential crises. And there's just a huge shift going on. People are leaving their corporate jobs. People are getting laid off. There's AI, there's uncertainty in the future. And that leaves a lot of early adults in a situation we haven't seen before. And plus the lifespan is expanding. So the transition into adulthood is not, it's not so clear. The pathway isn't as clear as it used to be. People are getting married later, if getting married, having kids later, going to school later, etc. So it's not quite the same as it used to be. So I'd love to help them navigate this new paradigm. So I dive deep into the research on purpose, and here are some of the pillars I discovered about this construct. So it is future oriented. It's an essential driving force that humans can pursue throughout their lifetime. It's a compass, and it's very personal and unique to each person. It's not just one goal to achieve, but it's a general orientation that you constantly move toward throughout your lifetime. So you're setting actually many goals that are aligned with your purpose and what is implicitly important to you, and you are pursuing them, and that's what propels you forward in life. So it offers direction and agency, which is especially important in moments of transition or feelings of stuckness. Purpose in life is also other-oriented. So you can think, how does my purpose impact society and others? How do I contribute to the world? It's pro-social. It's your purpose in life represents an intention to act in the larger world in pursuit of a larger cause. There's also an idea of generativity. So it's not just for our society today, for our generations today, but there's a strong sense of purpose in establishing and guiding future generations. And purpose is a significant predictor of well-being and optimal human functioning. So there's positive affect, sense of agency, self-efficacy. It buffers against negative self-images. It enhances hope and resilience and emotional regulation and stress management. And yes, it eases the impact of aging and it promotes longevity. When there's a lack of clear purpose and path, and your path, that leads to depression, anxiety, and many other negative effects. So it is vital to unearth our unique purpose and live it out daily. So I developed a model using the 5 elements, which is very accessible to lead people on this journey to and through their purpose. My research on understanding purpose in life led me to more questions about how to cultivate it, since it is so essential and beneficial at all stages of life. So this led me to developing this framework I've been talking about with the 5 elements. So that's earth, fire, water, air, and ether or space, where I gathered all of the ingredients needed to cultivate purpose and I infused them into each element. I won't get into all the ingredients needed to cultivate purpose today, but 2 of them are one of them is self-knowledge. So really knowing your core values, your beliefs, your implicit motives, and another is goal pursuit. So these are key ingredients in developing a purpose that is aligned with our most authentic selves. I put self-knowledge into the earth element and then everything related to goals in the fire element. One study found that just reflecting on your purpose and core values cognitively is not a direct path to identifying purpose. We need something deeper, which is why I developed this framework. We need to activate unconscious processes in order to discern our core values that are aligned with our authentic selves. And by tapping into the unconscious, we can ignite a series of transformational processes for a more purpose-filled life. So we want to dive deep below the conscious space, entering our rich inner landscape, or rather I call it inner land space, because it's a whole other dimension. It's not just a landscape, it's another realm that you can access with your imagination. That's also the name of my website, Inner Land Space. And that's where an immense amount of self-knowledge and wisdom can be found. So once this self-knowledge is brought to the surface, then our actions can align with our true desires more than when we're just thinking extrinsically with our extrinsic motivations. And so, many people end up in jobs, relationships, friendships, or whatever situation it may be, and they don't feel aligned. Something feels off. And that's because a lot of our implicit motives are still in the deep wells of our unconscious. So how do we access these unconscious processes? Through metaphors, mindfulness, guided imagery, all of these through the 5 elements. And again, today we'll be working with the element of fire and goal setting. And when you visualize achieving a goal, it actually increases the accessibility of that goal because it's unlocking the unconscious activation of goal-directed behavior. Okay, so one of the tools, again, that activates unconscious processes is mindfulness, which has been proven to heighten sensitivity to internal cues that signal your implicit preferences. So mindfulness is needed before the next step. So we'll be taking in order to follow our implicit motives that are in our unconscious that lead to our goal setting. So let's begin with some grounding and mindfulness and alignment. So I invite you to get settled in your seat, find a comfortable position, place your feet on the ground, and just begin to notice your breath. And if you feel comfortable, you can lower your gaze or softly close your eyes. Feel the support of Mother Earth under your feet, anchoring you safely through her roots. These roots enter your body as a golden glowing thread, moving up to your core, the house of your intuition. Breathe into your core. And notice how that feels. Now the thread moves up to your heart space, the house of your love and compassion. Breathe into your heart space. Notice how that feels. The golden glowing thread moves upward into your head space, the house of your brilliance. Breathe into your head space. Notice how that feels. The thread continues to move upward and out of the crown of your head, through your ceiling and roof, into the atmosphere with the birds, and up into space, into the infinite cosmos. You are connected to all. You are aligned within yourself and with Mother Earth and the cosmos. Feel the energy moving along the golden glowing thread. It is in you and out of you. It is you. You are it. Once you feel strongly anchored in this light and energy, I invite you to start to notice your body in your seat, your feet on the ground. What are you sensing? What are you feeling? You might let your earthly body know that you can access your earthly and cosmic connection anytime. It is always there. Now, start to notice any sounds around you. Gently open your eyes, come back to the space. You might look around your surroundings and find something resourcing and easeful to place your eyes on, something that brings you joy. And when you're ready, you can bring your attention back to the screen and the space we are in together. So now that you might feel a certain sense of alignment and clarity, I'm wondering if you can write down an idea or a project, a dream, just one goal that you are passionate about that really lights your whole being up. But maybe you've been putting it off for whatever reason, maybe time constraints, financial reasons, fear of failure, imposter syndrome, judgment from others. It could be a business idea, a book, a podcast, a research paper, going back to school, a trip, healing a relationship, just anything that really lights you up in this moment after that mindfulness exercise. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to reflect on what feels most aligned with your mind, your heart, your core, and just write that down on a piece of paper. You could type it up, and you're also welcome to share it in the chats as well. Create a children's book. I love that. Yeah, feel free to type it in the chat if you feel called to do so. Achieve my open university degree in classical studies. Write my life story. Beautiful. Set up a local SMN group on the Isle of Wight. Wonderful. Thank you everyone for sharing. A book, yes. All right, so we're going to reaching out to others more effectively. Beautiful. So we're going to get in now to the actual fire element. So I'm just curious if you can put in the chat or just think about it. What do you think of when you think of fire? Where does fire show up in your life? Or just what are any words that you associate with fire? Burning desire. Beautiful. Power. Alchemy. Energy. Hot burn, black glow, warmth and light, but also danger. It's going fast. Melting rose, warmth, sight, food, purifying, passion. Yes, all of these. Beauty, destruction, exactly. Passion. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, everyone. Yes, exactly. Yes, so fire both burns its way through things. It can be destructive and it radiates energy and light. So it's a very powerful element. It transforms through destruction. So today we're going to harness it in a way that it is transformative. Yes, passion, creativity, inspiration, illumination, purification, transformation. You said many more that are all correct. So in the framework of the model I developed using the 5 elements, fire holds goal setting, goal pursuit, and envisioning possible futures that are the three of the ingredients I discovered that are needed to cultivate purpose. And when you're working towards your goals, purpose in life actually increases. So it's important to have goals to pursue because it's a positive feedback loop. The more goals that you're pursuing, the more your purpose in life is increasing. And then you get all the benefits from that. Yes, so the powerful imagery and metaphors associated with fire can offer a transformational experience that forges new paths and illuminates the way to goals aligned with your true self and your values. All right, so before we embody fire, I would just like to highlight the importance of envisioning possible futures. I'm sure many of you have heard of Viktor Frankl. He has been a huge inspiration to me, both in my research and in my life. He was a psychiatrist, neurologist, and Holocaust survivor. He deeply understood the concepts of meaning and purpose from his own experience in concentration camps and his research in existentialism. He is the founder of logotherapy, which you can look up later. So this is what he says in a beautiful book. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it, Man's Search for Meaning. He says, any attempt to restore a man's inner strength in the camp had to first succeed in showing him some future goal. So he was helping. Oh, it's getting dark in here. My blinds just shut. But I have the candles on, so it's all good. He helped others by showing them some future goal. And in his own despair, he himself imagined his future. He imagined himself giving a lecture about the psychology of the concentration camp at the University of Vienna. So this was one of the images that he imagined that just really helped him keep going. And this gave meaning and purpose even in the worst circumstances. So having something to live for, something to look forward to, it's embedded in the driving force of purpose. And possessing the capacity to imagine possible futures is a unique ability humans can apply to any situation. That is the power of our imagination, and it gives us hope and it gives us strength to keep going. So no matter what you're going through, if you can imagine yourself doing something meaningful, then your focus and determination turns to that, and your energy goes in that direction, enhancing your strength and resilience. So if you can imagine the best possible future, you're also increasing your motivation immediately. So you're following that thread of purpose forward, which is what you'll also be experiencing today when we embody fire. So we will do a guided imagery, which also triggers a biochemical reaction. So your brain and body will react as if the event is actually happening. And embodying specific metaphors, such as each of the elements, can influence cognitive processes and outcomes even unconsciously. So using the 5 elements as metaphor, imagined or embodied, can generate notable transformation in the deep hidden wells of your unconscious. So for this guided imagery and embodying fire, if it is accessible to you, it would be great if you could stand up. If you cannot, that's okay. That's not a problem. You can still do it sitting down. But if you are standing, there will be a moment where you will be walking in place. So that's part of the embodiment. But either way is fine. Your imagination is so strong, you can imagine that you are walking. So just find a comfortable position where you can stand, or if you're sitting, that's fine. And just start to ground yourself by planting your feet firmly on the floor without locking your knees, and feeling the support of the earth below, holding you in place. Soften your tongue and mouth, and just continue to take a few more breaths. If you haven't done so already, I invite you to close your eyes. Imagine you are standing in a dark forest, surrounded by a thick ring of trees and shrubs. You are safe. Stand there for a moment. Now imagine the words of the goal that you identified for yourself just a few minutes ago. Just focus on the words of that goal. Repeat it to yourself. Now place your hands on your chest and visualize that goal as a flame in the middle of your body. That flame runs up your veins, through your arms and into your palms. Now start rubbing your hands together. Feel the friction and the heat that you are generating. This flame that is growing in your hands is the light you will need to move forward. Continue to rub your hands together. Look around the dark forest and choose the direction where you want to go. Begin walking in place while imagining you are lighting the way and forging a new path through the trees and shrubs. Keep your goal in mind as you are walking and creating the pathway for yourself. You can slowly stop rubbing your hands if you haven't done so already, and bring your arms down by your sides as you keep walking. Rays of light from the sun start to shine through the trees, and you feel a sense of warmth in your heart. The further you walk, the more light there is, and the clearer the path is. You arrive at an open field. Your goal starts to shift from your mind to reality in the field. You have achieved your goal. The open field starts to populate with the actualization of your goal. It could be people, a place, an object. What do you see? What are you wearing? What emotions are coming up? What colors are there? What smells? Who is celebrating your goal achievement with you? Now imagine this entire symposium network is with you and you are sharing your gifts and celebrating your success with all of them. Stay there for a minute. When you feel like you've celebrated enough, please come back to your body. Move your fingers and toes, maybe shake it out a bit. And gently open your eyes, orient yourself, take a seat and come back to the virtual room. I'd just like to take a moment to give gratitude to fire for just a second, for all that it does for us in bringing light to the darkness and giving us the energy to move forward and forge our own pathways and transform that which does not serve us into fertile land for our dreams to grow. So I'm going to, I think I have a few minutes. I'm going to give you some time to integrate what came up for you with this fire embodiment. You are free to do that in any way that feels good for you. You could journal, draw, paint, dance, sing, write a poem, make a collage, maybe use AI to create the scene that you saw. It's really all in your hands. We might not have obviously time to fully integrate, so you can just start, maybe jot some notes down and then continue that. It could come up in your dreams. It could come up over the next few days. So just take all the time you need to integrate, but maybe since it's still fresh in your mind, whatever comes through you now, you can start to integrate that. I just want to thank you so much. And I say, continue to forge the way to your purpose with your inner fire. And yes, I'm just starting out. Like, this is all for my research. So I'm building my business now, Inner Land Space. So if you want to be some of the new people who join my newsletter, or yeah, you can connect with me at daniela@innerlandspace.com. I'm also on Instagram, Inner Land Space. So any way that you want to connect, or if you're curious about my work. And also I will be offering, I live in Italy, and so I'll be offering online workshops for anyone around the world, and retreats in Italy. So if anyone feels called to do that.